Welcome to the session 34, that is meaning of Exim policy and its impact of Exim policy in the economy. The learning objective of this study is to study the meaning and impact of Exim policy on the economy or business. After studying this session, the students will be able to understand the meaning of Exim policy and its impact on economy with various schemes and with the key highlights. Exim policy. Exim policy or foreign trade policy is a set of guidelines, terms, and institutions established by the Directorate General of Foreign Trade in or for matters related to the import and export of goods in or from India. The Exim policy of India contains several policy measures and related decisions taken by the government, especially central government, in the sphere of imports and exports to or from the country. In addition, it also describes the various export promotion measures, policies, and procedures related thereto. The foreign trade policy is prepared and announced by the central government of Ministry of Commerce of the country. India's export import policy, also known as foreign trade policy, in general aims at developing export potential, improving export performance, encouraging foreign trade, and creating favorable balance of payments position. The Directorate General of Foreign Trade is the chief government body for the matters of pertaining to such a policy. In addition, the policy is steered according to the regulations stated in the Foreign Trade Development and Regulation Act. The current Foreign Trade Act has replaced the earlier law in this regard, known as the Import and Exports Control Act 1947. The Government of India announced the new foreign trade policy covering the period from 2015 to 2020 on April 1, 2015. Vision and mission of this policy. New Exim policy. The vision of the trade policy is to make India a significant participant in the world trade by 2020. The mission and objective include the ideology to make the country assume a position of leadership in the international trade. The Government of India aims to increase the exports of merchandise and services from $465.9 billion in 2013-14 to approximately $900 billion by 2019-20. Additionally, the policy aims to increase the country's share in the world exports from 2% to 3.5%. Next, objectives of EXIM policy. First one objective is to provide a stable and sustainable policy environment for foreign trade, to link the rules and procedures with other initiatives like Make in India or Digital India and Skills India. Next is to diversify India's exports. Next is to provide a mechanism for regular appraisal in order to rationalize imports. In this mechanism, to regular appraisal in order to rationalize imports, various import restrictions have to be provided through the EXIM policy. To improve India's balance of payment position by increasing exports and decreasing imports in the country. To create architecture for India's global trade engagement with a view to expand and integrate markets, thereby augmenting the Make in India initiative. These are all the objectives of EXIM policy, especially in the new EXIM policy 1915 to 1920. Next, we discuss about various salient features of the new export and import policies. First one of the feature is increase in the number of export items. The government has identified many new products for exports. They are fish and fish preparations, agricultural products, and marine products, etc. These products are import light and hence pressure on foreign exchange was relieved. Second feature is special economic zones. Says for promotion of exports, special economic zones have been established. Such units are deemed to be foreign territory for the purpose of trade operations and tariffs. The main objective of the CES unit is to provide a congenial atmosphere for exports. Indian banks were permitted to establish offshore banking units in CES. These units will attract foreign direct investments and would be free from cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio. Next is role of public sector agencies. Certain exports are controlled by public sector agencies like state trading corporations, mineral and metal trading corporation, etc. Now, these are asked to compete with other exporters. Foreigners have been permitted to set up trading houses for export purposes. Next is restriction free export policy. Restrictions on exports have been reduced to minimum according to new policy. Export restrictions have been imposed on few sensitive commodities, taking the domestic demand and supply factors into consideration. Export duties are now not considered as source of revenue generation but a means of increasing the competitiveness of domestic exporters in the international market. Next is liberalization of export oriented imports. Import licenses were removed from most of the items in this action. Provisions were made to levy low customs duties in an imports which were used as input for production of export goods. Imports were linked to the availability of foreign exchange generated through exports. Import duties were gradually reduced and the objective was to equal the same with the other countries of the world. The restrictions laid on import of all the items were removed to confirm countries of the world. The restriction laid on import of all the items were removed to conform to the WTO norms and these were put under open general license list. This process liberalized imports and simplified export import procedures. Next next feature is convertibility of rupees. To increase exports, the rupee was made partly convertible on current account. In 1994-95, the budget rupee was made fully convertible. Last one is devaluation of rupees. Generally speaking, devaluation of rupee means lowering the value of rupee in terms of foreign currencies. Devaluation makes domestic goods cheaper in the foreign market to cover the balance of payment difficulty. Government of India devalued rupee in June 1991 by 23%. This helped in encouraging exports. Next, we discuss about various key highlights of Exim policy and its impact on business. First, highlights of Exim policy and its impact include merchandise export from India scheme MEIS. The FTP has introduced merchandise export from India scheme to promote specific services for specific markets. Foreign trade policy. MEIS shall subsume existing schemes with focus product scheme, market linked focus product scheme, focus market scheme, agree infrastructure incentive, scripts, etc. Next is Service Export from India Scheme, SEIS. SEIS shall be available to service providers located in India as against the existing served from India scheme available to Indian service providers, and SEIS reward rate specified for export of notified services and would be based on net foreign exchange earned. Special provisions applicable to MEIS and SEIS are the duty credit scripts, and the goods imported against these scripts will now be freely transferable. The duty credit scripts can be used for payment of customs duty, excise duty, service tax, and fees for defaults relating to advance authorization. And lastly, the benefits of MEIS and SEIS has been extended to units located in special economic zones. This is a welcome step and is imperative to boost the SEZ sector. Next is trade facilitation and ease of doing business. Under online filing of documents, applications, and paperless trade in 24 into 7 environment, few important proposals provided are development of an online procedure to upload digitally signed documents by chartered accountants or company secretary or cost accountants. Next highlight is creation of importer exporter profile to eliminate repeated submission of copies of permanent records or documents. For example, IEC manufacturing license, RCMC, PAN, etc. with each application. And other key highlights includes export obligation reduced from 90% to 75% for domestic procurement under EPCG scheme to boost the Make in India initiative. 10% of the cases to be selected on random basis per month as a risk measurement initiative where scripts have already been issued. This may lead to verification of original document for detailed examination. Next, Directorate General for Foreign Trade DGFT to leverage information and have access to database of Central Board of Direct Taxes for PAN. A new chapter introduced on quality complaints and trade dispute. These are all the key highlights of new foreign trade policy 1915 to 20, and the various omissions of this FTP include, according to Rajiv Kumar in the Times of India published on April 9th, 2015, there are three major omissions in the FTP 2015 to 20. First one is lack of policy for ramping up foreign tourism in which the country already is a poor performer. The MSME sector that produces 45% of manufacturing output and 40% of total export receives only curia- cursory treatments without any tangible steps to make it a part of the global value chain. The current FTP, like the previous ones, has lagged to adequately serve this sector. The FTP has also left untouched the large panoply of the export promotion and facilitation of the institutions to augment the country's exports. These are all the meaning of Exim policy, impact of Exim policy on business with vision and mission, objectives, and salient features of the Exim policy and the various key highlights of the Exim policy of 1915 to 1920, which is highlighted in the export and import policy through the foreign trade policy or FTP. So here we conclude that Exim policy is one of the economic indicator which shows the various export and import activities and the benefits among them are through these export and export regimes.